Yo, so what's going on, COD boys? It is Pwn, and I'm giving you guys some COD4 right now. I'm using the silenced P90 right now. It's one of those guns that's just universal. You can put the red dot sight on it. You can put whatever you want on it. Mustard, ketchup. And the gun performs at an amazing level, and I've always loved it. Even though that I'm playing some COD4, and the connection is really kind of, tearing my butt right now because I believe I'm playing on a 2-bar, and 2-bar is just really crazy. I mean, in the Modern Warfare titles, when you had stopping power, it at least made up for it. You could actually win gunfights. Not so much in, like, Black Ops or whatever like that, where there was no stopping power. Connection really did prevail. And so I do a pretty decent game. I think I end up 47-12. So I get a lot of deaths, but I get a lot of kills, and it comes down to one deciding kill. So it's an intense game. Hope you enjoy it. What I wanted to talk to you guys about is, movies. So the next two Call of Duty videos I've put up are going to be anything. I think the next one will be about cartoons. This one's going to be about movies. So I'm a big movie buff. I love movies. I like watching things. I like making my own home movies too. I know, you know what? I know, right? So I like doing whatever I can. I love movies, and I'm not really so much a show guy. I think the only show that I ever really got into was, besides the Pawn Stars is pretty entertaining to watch sometimes. Chumley makes me lol, but personally, the only show I've ever really gotten into was Dexter. Dexter was pretty badass, and it's back on the air. I'm excited about that. And personally, I'm a movie guy. I worked at Blockbuster for 2 years. Gaming and movies have been one of my passions. And one of the things that really takes me, to the next level, one thing that I do love is horror. Horror is kind of what got into it. Now, there are different kinds of horror movies. There's the law horror, the ones that make you laugh because they're so bad. There's Chrome Skull was one of the recent ones. The Scream movies, they're so bad, I have to watch them because I'm going to laugh more than anything. So, there's those really bad, low-budget they're not even B films. They're like, you should have ever made, who wrote this kind of films. But they're so bad they make you laugh, and I like those kind of horrors, like the dumb white bitch falls, trips over a stick every time, black man dies 30 minutes in. They're all so cliche, they're so funny as hell, and, honestly, I get my comedy kicks out of horror movies, but then again, there's the natural ones, there's the ones that make you jump, and I think there are different kinds of horror movies. The ones that really get me are the spiritual ones, the demonic, the possession, the exorcism, things like that, and those are the ones that really kind of make me a little weird. Now, I haven't been scared from a movie since the original, Freddy Krueger, back when I was a kid. I was really grown in a family where, I was 3 years old, and I'm still watching, Chucky and Freddy and all of these things, and I was raised on horror movies, and I spent the nights over at my father's, and if he didn't have country playing on the TV, it was either porn or or some shitty ass horror movie like Freddy or something, and maybe that had an impact on my pervertedness. I don't know, guys. Freddy boobies, Freddy's boobies, whatever, and so that's pretty much the event of my childhood. Every weekend, that's what I did. I was just really involved into horror movies, and it's kind of my favorite thing to watch nowadays. I love my good action, I love my good comedy, and it takes a lot to impress me nowadays in a horror, but there have been a couple of them over the last couple of years that have been doing pretty well. They got those subtle movies, the ones that really something pops at the screen and you go, oh, I need to go home and change my pants. And then there's the ones that make you jump like that. And then there's ones that actually get inside you, the ones that could be possible, like the exorcism ones, the ones that get the spiritual and the demonic and stuff like that. Those are the ones that really get inside people and make them a little squeamish, if you know. And I have to admit, some of these, I think the first time I ever watched a movie that actually kind of got me a little bit was Paranormal Activity, outside of me being a kid. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that movie sucked. And the movie did suck. Don't get me wrong, the movie wasn't great or anything like that. But just the thought behind it, and the possibilities and everything like that really got me. Now, all these people that are like, oh, I've never seen Paranormal Activity, it's a movie that you have to watch in theaters. It's not something you get on VHS, you watch with the girl, hope she just squeals up next to you, and you guys, fuck after that. It's not one of those movies. It's not one of the ones that is pretty much any good at all on DVD. There's a term, I don't know it right off hand, but it's just like a mass population of people incite fear in each other. So when there's a group of people, I'm not talking 3 guys, 4 guys walking through a haunted house, we all just lull at the fake chainsaws. It's actually more along the lines of, when there's a mass group of people, the fear is just sparked. And, I went to go see Paranormal Activity, and you just had the things you expected. You had the women that are screaming. You had the one black guy oh, fuck, bitch, don't go in there. It was just like one of those movements that you have to go in and you have to experience a movie like that in theaters. And that's what I love. I've never been able to experience that. And since theaters have been out, I've seen all of the Paranormal Activities now, 1, 2, and 3 in theaters. And though they have that, that aspect that make you jump, oh my god, because it's so subtle and you never know what's happening. And there's some of the best movies out there like that, and I know a lot of people are like, oh wow, Pone, your taste's really horrible. And another movie that was very similar to that would be the Insidious one, the one that had, dude, I don't even know the dude's name, some little blonde guy, and that movie made you jump at certain moments. It wasn't like really so much scary. It was kind of like twisted, but and that's just part of me. I've loved horror movies. I've loved movies, and that's just one of the things that I've actually enjoyed. And I wanted to ask you guys what you guys thought, because I saw a trailer and it wasn't anything too impressive. I watched it on the PC after watching it, and it wasn't anything. And that just goes to the factor that if you watch something in the theaters, that it's going to be amplified tenfold because of the group of population that's there. And I saw a trailer when I went to go see Paranormal Activity 3, and the trailer was, what was it? It was called The Devil Inside. And I know a lot of people might not be too spiritual, but, this stuff could be possible. Exorcism and stuff like that. I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm willing to go check it out, man. I like haunted houses. I like to go into, haunted prisons. I've always wanted to know about the paranormal and the extra stuff, man. I'm not, like, obsessed with it. Don't call me Hitler or anything. I do believe something like that might exist, but, I'm also a guy. That's the reason why I don't believe in God and stuff like that, is because I need to see it to believe it. I can't just go off of faith or anything like that. I don't know if it's the science in me, the stubbornness in me. I don't know what it is. So those kind of things, the possibility of existence are just totally weird to me. And this movie, I saw the trailer for it, Devil Inside. If you guys haven't seen it, maybe I'll link you down to the trailer of it down below. And it actually got a part of me. Some of the weird shit, the spiritual thing, the whole upside down cross, stuff like that really gets to me. So I wanted to ask you guys, what was one of the original movies that you got spooked with? Like, cause I remember growing up and loving things. I loved Halloween stuff. I'd watch the Disney shit. Like Halloween Town. That was my shit. I don't even care. I like seeing horror movies. I like seeing Halloween movies. It's one of the moments where you can have fun, get spooked. It's all about that kind of stuff, and I love the hell out of it. So I don't know. I just wanted to ask you guys what you guys honestly thought about it, because as it stands, it's probably my favorite genre of movies. And I know a lot of people are like, no, and women don't like it. And Amanda, I like bleed after some of these movies. We watched Paranormal Activity 2, and she like dug her nails into my arm, and I was like bleeding, and went through and ruined my jacket. And it was like, it's like people really, really get intense in these things, and I really think it's due to the possibility of it existing. I mean, I do enjoy the occasional hack and slash kind of thing. I think they've all been downhill though, because the population and all of us is like people nowadays. Kids see things, and in between, I don't know if it's video games or media, what's happened. There's nothing that really shocks and awes anybody anymore. Back in the day when you had like the original Thing or My Bloody Valentine or whatever else was out there, they set the bar on ways for people to die and gore and special effects. John Carpenter and stuff like this, and Wes Craven, all these guys that created these things, they built like an empire on horror, and it was like the next wave. It was something that had never been seen before, and that's what real fear and real horror was built back then, with things like that and Poltergeist and stuff like that. And nowadays, kids don't get scared from anything at all, at all. It doesn't matter whether it's a horror movie, the Holocaust, fucking detentions. We laugh at that stuff now. It's because we're so accustomed and used to the graphics now. We're so used to, oh yeah, that's cheesy. I knew he was going to do that. It's computer animated. We're so used to seeing these things and the graphics and the details behind everything now. The raw, natural, oh my god kind of intensity is just no longer there. So I think the youth have been sheltered, and the youth nowadays are not able to experience what I felt when I was a kid growing up. Because that raw, next level type shit, where there's the fear and the gore and the stuff, it might have just been simple pig's blood and ketchup back then, but you didn't know it was a whole nother level of horror. And it's kind of sad that the youth nowadays are not going to be able to experience that, because they've seen stuff, they've dealt stuff, they've been video games. They'll go see an old school, one of those movies that was like the shit back in the day, like Exorcist or Jaws, and they'll look at it and be like, damn, I see the strings, that's cheesy. So, I just wanted to ask you guys what you guys thought. What was your history with horror movies? What have you liked? What has actually made you jump? What has really honestly scared you to this day? And don't say like the first time I saw Teletubbies. I want you guys to be honest. So there it is, guys. There's the clutch. 75-74, close game. Hope you enjoyed. That's my thoughts on horror. Maybe I'll cover cartoons next time. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Peace out. Get it.